Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks are in. From September 1st to 12th, fans can expect Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, to reconnect with Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley. Meanwhile, Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, pounces on opportunity with Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera, Audra Charles' losses. Before getting to the 2 weekers, let's discuss what is coming up from September 1st to 5th. Fans can expect the losses to keep coming for Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. Not only was her one chance to get back into business ruined, but she has now lost Nate as well. Of course, this is all her own fault. Audra did try to get Nate back, but he dumped her and walked away. As more people lose respect for Brunette, she could become unstable. In the cutthroat world of Genoa City business and personal ambitions often collide, leaving behind wreckage that even the savviest power players cannot always avoid. Few characters embody both the thrill of victory and the sting of downfall like Audra Charles. Introduced as a bold, brilliant, and unapologetically ambitious woman, she quickly carved out a space as one of the most magnetic disruptors on a young and the restless canvas. Yet with every bold move comes a cost, and Audra Charles's losses are beginning to accumulate in ways that may define not only her future, but also the future of those tied to her. Loss in soap storytelling is never just about a failed business deal or a broken romance. It is about identity, vulnerability, and the way power players recalibrate after being knocked down. For Audra, a woman who prides herself on always staying one step ahead, her mounting losses reveal cracks in her armor and force her to confront what happens when control slips through her fingers. Audra's losses can be traced back to her complicated entry into Genoa City. From the very beginning, she established herself as someone unafraid to manipulate, seduce, and strategize to secure what she wanted. Her role in Chance of Winners, her maneuvering with Tucker McCall, and her entanglements with Nate Hastings all position her as both dangerous and alluring. Yet in each of these ventures, Audra ultimately faced setbacks. Chancellor Winters slipped out of her grasp when her schemes became too transparent, leaving her reputation tainted among powerful figures like Lily Winters and Devin Hamilton. Her professional losses were compounded by personal ones, as Nate's loyalties shifted and her hold over him evaporated. These were the first signs that while Audra possessed brilliance and drive, her ability to maintain alliances was fragile. The most personal of Audra's losses, however, came in the form of Kyle Abbott. Their affair was passionate, thrilling, and reckless, offering Audra both romance and leverage. For a time, she believed she had Kyle exactly where she wanted him, vulnerable to her charms and willing to defy his family's expectations. But Kyle's inability to fully commit left Audra once again abandoned. His eventual gravitation toward Claire Grace Newman only deepened a wound, positioning Claire as both a romantic and strategic rival. In losing Kyle, Audra not only lost a lover, but also a potential inroad to Abbott power. For a woman who thrives on turning relationships into opportunities, that loss cut deeply, leaving her exposed both emotionally and politically. Tucker McCall represents another layer of Audra's mounting losses. Their alliance was tempestuous, built on mutual ambition and a shared willingness to bend morality to achieve their goals. Yet Tucker's unpredictability and betrayal made it clear that he was never a reliable partner. As Audra invested time and strategy into aligning with Tucker, she found herself continually undercut by his divided loyalties and his obsession with Ashley Abbott. Each time Tucker wavered, Audra lost ground, and what could have been a partnership of equals devolved into disappointment. The loss of Tucker as a consistent ally not only weakened Audra's standing in the corporate world, but also reminded her of the danger of relying too heavily on volatile men. Beyond these individual relationships, Audra's larger losses exist in her ongoing quest for legitimacy. Despite her intelligence and her undeniable presence, she is often dismissed by legacy families who see her as an interloper rather than a true contender. The Newmans, the Abbotts, the Chancellors, these dynasties have weathered decades of drama, and they guard their power fiercely. For Audra to insert herself into their world is to court constant rejection. Each time she inches close to acceptance, circumstances or her own missteps push her back out. This cycle of near victories and crushing defeats is perhaps her greatest loss of all, the loss of stability and belonging. Still, Audra's losses are not simply tragedies. They are turning points. In soaps, loss often sets the stage for reinvention, and few characters are better suited for reinvention than Audra. Her resilience is part of what makes her so compelling. Every time she is knocked down, she emerges sharper, more determined, and more willing to cross lines. The question is not whether Audra will bounce back from her losses, but how she will transform them into weapons. Will she weaponize the heartbreak from Kyle to dismantle his relationship with Claire? Will she exploit Tucker's weaknesses to ruin him professionally? Will she channel her rejection by legacy families into a ruthless campaign to establish her own dynasty? The seeds of her next moves are always hidden in the ashes of her failures. Fans are fascinated by the duality of Audra's character. On one hand, she is ruthless, unapologetically ambitious, and willing to use seduction as a weapon. On the other, her losses reveal vulnerability, loneliness, and a hunger for acceptance that she rarely admits. This duality keeps viewers invested, torn between rooting for her downfall and secretly hoping she will find redemption. Every tear she sheds in private, every glance of hurt when she is dismissed, deepens her complexity. Loss makes her human, even as her strategies make her dangerous. The ripple effects of Audra's losses extend far beyond her. Kyle's rejection reverberates through Abbott family drama, reigniting questions about his judgment and his loyalty. Tucker's betrayals create instability that touches Ashley, Devin, and even Phyllis. Audra's professional failures at Chance of Winters impact Lily, Devin, and Jill, raising questions about whether the company can weather constant power plays. In this way, Audra's losses are never contained to her. They ripple across Genoa City, destabilizing alliances and creating new storylines or others. Looking ahead, spoilers and speculation suggest Audra's losses may soon escalate into something even more devastating. Could she lose not just lovers and business deals, but also her freedom or her health? Soap history is filled with arcs where ambitious women pay steep prices for their schemes. Prison, public humiliation, or even physical danger could be looming for Audra. Such losses would strip her down to her core, forcing her to rebuild from scratch. Yet for a character like Audra, that kind of rock-bottom moment could be the crucible that transforms her into a lasting legend. From a performance perspective, Zuleika Silver brings layers to Audra's losses that make them resonate. Her ability to shift from sultry confidence to raw vulnerability allows viewers to see both the strategist and the woman beneath. In scenes where Audra loses, whether it's Kyle walking away, Tucker betraying her, or Lily calling her out, Silver infuses the moment with heartbreak that lingers. It is this humanity amid ambition that makes Audra's journey so captivating. Her losses sting not only for her, but for the audience who see themselves in her relentless pursuit of success and her fear of being cast aside. Online, fans debate what Audra's ultimate fate should be. Some argue she deserves to be crushed by the dynasty she has tried to infiltrate, a cautionary tale of unchecked ambition. Others believe her loss is a foundation for an epic rise, one that could see her outmaneuver even the Newmans and Abbotts. Many root for her to eventually find true love, not as a weapon but as a sanctuary from the chaos. These discussions highlight just how invested viewers have become in Audra's arc loss is not making her irrelevant. It is making her essential. Thematically, Audra's losses explore the cost of ambition and the vulnerability of those who appear unshakable. In a world where so many characters are born into power, Audra represents the outsider who must claw her way to the top. Every loss she suffers underscores the difficulty of that climb. Yet it also makes any victory she achieves more satisfying. If she ever does secure real power or lasting love, it will be because she fought harder than anyone else. Her losses are not weaknesses. They are the proving ground to her strength. In the end, Audra Charles' losses are not just setbacks. They are story engines, emotional anchors, and catalysts for transformation. They reveal the cracks in her carefully constructed facade. They ripple through the lives of those around her, and they set the stage for future victories or tragedies. For viewers, her losses make her real. They make her someone worth watching, not because she always wins, but because she dares to keep fighting even when she loses everything. And in Genoa City, where power and love are always fleeting, that kind of resilience may be the greatest victory of all. Nate Hastings' reconnection. As for Nate, he will do some reconnecting. The former doctor has been reconnected with Victoria lately. The man was there for Victoria after Cole Howard's Eddie Peck death. Now, it seems that Victoria is going to be there for Nate during his breakup and grief over Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers. In the ever-twisting world of the young and the restless, Nate Hastings has been many things. Healer, betrayer, lover, dreamer, and schemer. His storylines have taken him from respected surgeon to conflicted corporate climber, and through every transformation fans have watched him struggle with identity, morality, and loyalty. Now, as spoilers and speculation swirl, the idea of Nate Hastings' reconnection, whether to family, to love, or to his own true self, emerges as a potential turning point not only for his character, but also for the landscape of Genoa City. Soap operas thrive on second chances and shifting alliances, and few characters are as ripe for a redemptive reconnection arc as Nate. His losses, betrayals, and fractured relationships have created a hunger for healing that could reshape multiple storylines and bring emotional depth back into a character who has often been caught between ambition and integrity. Nate's past is riddled with fractures that make the theme of reconnection all the more poignant. His once close ties to Devin Hamilton have been scarred by betrayal, business battles, and personal grudges. Nate's choice to side against Devin in the Chancellor Winters saga marked one of the most dramatic shifts in their brotherly bond. Once united by shared history, family ties, and mutual respect, they became bitter rivals, with Devin feeling gutted by Nate's willingness to sell him out for power. Fans remember the scenes vividly. Devin's fury, Nate's defensiveness, the sense of a bond breaking in real time. Reconnecting with Devin could be one of the hardest but most meaningful arcs Nate faces, because it would force him to grapple with his past choices and the selfish ambition that nearly destroyed the family business. But Devin isn't the only family member Nate must reckon with. The Winters-Hamilton clan has long been a bedrock of Genoa City, and Nate's choices have alienated him from more than just one cousin. Lily Winters, a strong-willed woman who values loyalty above all else, was equally disgusted by Nate's disloyalty. His betrayal didn't just hurt Devin. It rippled through Lily, who felt the stability of her family business under attack. A reconnection here would mean Nate acknowledging that his hunger for status cost him the respect of those who had always been in his corner. Then there is his aunt, Drusilla's legacy still alive in Neil's family tree, and the idea that reconnected with his family would honor the history of the Winters dynasty. Fans love when a family fractured by betrayal finds its way back to unity, and Nate's storyline could become a case study in soap opera redemption through reconnection. On the romantic front, Nate's love life has been as turbulent as his business dealings, and here too the possibility of reconnection lingers. His relationship with Elena Dawson ended in heartbreak after his affair with Victoria Newman came to light. Elena, who once believed in Nate's stability and goodness, was crushed to discover his darker, more ambitious side. She saw him betray both her and his own values, and her departure was both a punishment and a declaration that she deserved better. Yet soap fans know that love stories never truly die. Reconnecting with Elena, even as friends, even as co-parents if surprise storyline were to emerge, could give Nate an avenue to rediscover the grounding compassion that once defined him. Whether the writers decide to revisit that romance or simply allow the two to find closure, reconnection with Elena could serve as a bridge between the old Nate and the man he is becoming. Then there is Victoria Newman, a woman whose magnetism pulled Nate into both passion and peril. Their affair was sizzling, but it exposed Nate to the ruthless reality of Newman family politics. He believed he was ascending into a position of power, only to discover that Victoria's trust had limits and Victor Newman's shadow loomed too large. Ultimately, Nate lost not only the relationship, but also his grip on Newman Media. Reconnecting with Victoria could play out in multiple ways, as a rekindled romance fueled by lingering attraction, as a toxic entanglement Nate cannot fully shake, or as a professional alliance forged in desperation. Each path would challenge Nate to decide whether he has truly learned from his ambition-driven mistakes, or whether he is doomed to repeat them. Perhaps the most important reconnection of all, however, is with himself. Nate Hastings began his journey in Genoa City as a healer, a doctor committed to saving lives. His transformation into a corporate shark left many fans questioning whether the man they once admired was gone forever, reconnecting with his original calling, whether literally returning to medicine or simply reclaiming the values of compassion, integrity, and selflessness, could redefine Nate in the eyes of viewers. Fans often express nostalgia for the days when Nate embodied the noble ideals of the Hastings and Winters families. A storyline that allows Nate to acknowledge his mistakes, reconcile his dual identities, and emerge with renewed purpose could be one of the most powerful arcs the show has delivered in years. The theme of reconnection doesn't happen in isolation. Soap characters never simply repair relationships. They ripple across the canvas, shifting alliances and reigniting rivalries. If Nate begins reconnecting with Devon, the entire Chancellor Winters storyline could shift. Devon, always protective of his legacy, might cautiously allow Nate back into his orbit, setting the stage for new business strategies, personal healing, and potential conflicts with other executives. Lily's response would be equally crucial. Would she forgive her cousin or remain wary of his motives? And if Nate tried to prove himself by taking down rivals or sacrificing ambition for family, the ripple effects could reshape corporate battles for months. If Nate reconnects romantically, the drama only multiplies. Elena's return to his life could spark new rivalries, especially if she is entangled with someone else by the time he seeks redemption. Victoria, meanwhile, could once again find herself torn between her attraction to Nate and the expectations of her family empire. Even Amanda Sinclair, who shares ties to Devon and once clashed with Nate, could be pulled into the orbit of his reconnections, her legal expertise and sharp insight complicating any attempted truce. Every reconnection opens a door to new storylines that intertwine romance, business, and family legacy. From a character study perspective, Nate Hastings' reconnection arc will be less about instant forgiveness and more about the process of earning trust again. Soap fans appreciate slow burns, the painstaking process of repairing broken bonds, and emotional beats of apology, hesitation, relapse, and eventual healing. Nate's reconnection should not be easy. It should force him to confront every mistake he has made, betraying Devon, cheating on Elena, choosing ambition over integrity, and allow himself to be used by the Newmans. Each step toward reconnection should come at a cost, because only then will the payoff feel truly earned. Zuleika Silver's Audra Charles also looms large in Nate's reconnection journey. While not a direct family tie, her presence in corporate world and her own schemes make her a wild card in any attempt by Nate to rebuild his life. Audra thrives on disruption, and if Nate tries to mend fences, Audra could exploit his vulnerability for her own gain. Whether she positions herself as an ally or a saboteur, Audra's role could highlight the tension between Nate's desire for reconnection and his susceptibility to temptation. For viewers, Nate Hastings' reconnection storyline taps into something universal: the desire for second chances. Everyone has lost relationships, burned bridges, or strayed from their values. Watching Nate attempt to claw his way back to forgiveness mirrors the human experience of regret and redemption. This relatability is what gives soap opera storytelling its enduring power. Fans root for villains and heroes alike, because at the heart of every arc is a story about human fallibility and the hope for renewal. Nate's reconnection could be one of those arcs that transcends soap drama and resonates on a deeply emotional level. Of course, reconnection does not guarantee happy endings. Soap history is littered with characters who try to repair relationships only to spiral further into tragedy. Nate could easily backslide, his hunger for power overwhelming his desire for redemption. His reconnection attempts could fail spectacularly, leaving him more isolated than ever. But even in failure, the storyline would generate drama, heartbreak, and opportunities for others to rise. Reconnection is not about certainty. It is about possibility. And that is what keeps audiences invested. As the writers of The Young and the Restless chart Nate's path forward, they have an opportunity to craft one of the most layered and compelling arcs in recent memory. By weaving together family healing, romantic turmoil, corporate battles, and self-discovery, they can create a storyline that honors Nate's history while propelling him into a future full of potential. Nate Hastings' reconnection could be messy, heartbreaking, triumphant, or all of the above. What matters most is that it feels earned, authentic, and resonant with the themes of loyalty, betrayal, and forgiveness that define Genoa City. In the end, Nate Hastings' reconnection is not just about repairing broken ties. It is about rediscovering who he is at his core. It is about reclaiming the values that once made him a beacon of hope and learning how to balance ambition with integrity. It is about family, love, and self-identity colliding the way only soap operas can capture. And it is about showing viewers that even when mistakes shatter trust, the possibility of reconnection remains fragile, difficult, but always worth the fight.